14, as we continue to cover the government shutdown this morning, we know many of you are at home wondering about the impacts here locally. The DMV is home to more than 350,000 federal workers and contractors that are now facing the full impacts of this shutdown. We are speaking this morning with some of your representatives to find out where negotiations stand on Capitol Hill. Joining us this morning is the Congressman for Virginia's 10th District, Representative Suhas Subramanyam. Thanks so much for being with us on this busy morning. We appreciate your time. I want to start with just your reaction. You live in a Virginia district that is filled with federal workers. What do you say to them this morning?
I mean, this is a really hard situation for our community. The fact of the matter is this whole year has been hard. I mean, they've already been shutting down the government with these mass firings and layoffs, canceling contracts for contractors overnight. I mean, you talked about the contractors. There's a lot in Northern Virginia, in this region, and they will go without pay completely during a shutdown. And the federal workers will be furloughed, and that has an impact on our entire economy, restaurants, businesses, and so we have to do everything we can to stop a shutdown. The problem is, though, this is also life or death for many of our constituents. On the line is people's access to health care. On the line is funding the continued DOGE cuts and continued assault on our federal government and control of our federal government that this administration is trying to take. So there's a lot on the line right now, and we're trying to see if we can come to a solution. The problem is Republicans didn't even show up yesterday on the House side to negotiate anything. They certainly haven't talked to me or talked to anyone. And so right now, it looks like we're going to continue to be in a shutdown until Republicans come to the table and try to figure out with us a solution.
And obviously this morning we have seen a lot of finger pointing as to who's to blame in all of this. But as you mentioned, the loss of pay, that is very real for a lot of people, especially in our area, in your district. What immediate help or relief programs are you hoping to activate to assist those who are going to be losing income during this shutdown?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, our office is open to anyone who needs help. We have about a dozen bills we put forward, help contractors get back pay, for instance, or help federal workers who, maybe they have a mortgage and it might be hard to make that next mortgage payment to be able to work flexibly with their financial institution. I'm not going to be taking pay during this time, and I have legislation to basically say that legislators shouldn't get paid during a shutdown. Really, we need to put any sort of pressure we can on legislators to actually do the right thing and fund real budgets instead of these 6-month at a time crises that are happening. And so I'm looking at all the options right now, but certainly we also are rolling out programs to try to help people during this hard time right now.
Yeah. Any indication as to how long this shutdown will last? Obviously, nearly 7 years ago, we saw a 35-day shutdown. Any indication how long we can expect this to persist?
I hope not long, because again, the things that I'm putting forward and other folks really on both sides of the aisle, but mostly Democrats are putting forward, are very, very popular with the American people. We're talking about not cutting off access to healthcare and doubling people's premiums by next year. We're talking about not weaponizing the federal government and mass layoffs of federal workers. These are really, really key things that people agree on, really. But the problem is right now, the other side, they have to make their far right coalition happy as well. And that far right coalition is calling the shots right now. And so, if they can come together with us, figure out a long-term solution, or at least fund the government and address these issues that are life or death to our constituents, that are the difference between having a job and not having a job in our region, then I think we'll be able to avert a further harm to our community and end this shutdown. But right now, I'm not optimistic in something happening this week. And so I'm going to continue to push, though, to figure something out.
And Congressman, we have just about 30 seconds left, but I want to ask you, how do you intend to hold leadership accountable, both in your party and across the aisle, for the mismanagement that led to this shutdown and this situation in the first place?
Yeah, it's a great question, because we've had 6 months. I mean, the last shutdown fight was in the spring, and we said it then: do not get us in this position again. Let's work together over the summer. But instead, this administration passed Medicaid cuts instead, SNAP cuts. I mean, they went the opposite direction. But we've been saying for months now, do not get us in a place where there's a shutdown. But here we are now. Republicans have the House, the Senate, and the White House. I hope they'll come together and do the right thing and avert this shutdown. But right now, the way we're going to hold them accountable is by making sure we have every voice in our community heard, making sure that we push back and we move forward and find a solution.
All right. We certainly appreciate your time on this busy morning. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.